Everybody ready? 4 minutes? Good.
Ready.
Good. Good. Good evening. It's time to call the August 20th, 2024 Warren County Board of Education meeting to order. Our first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance, and we're going to ask Mr. Malonis to lead us.
I don't know that. I've had that for 30 years.
You just started. I pledge.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You do it.
I don't buy that for a second. Okay, we are at the approval of agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? So moved. Okay, so look down through. Under personnel, number 3, we have one resignation, Shawnee Hill. Under B, employment request for FMLA, should be 2 people there. Should be named Connie Boyce and Mary Amos. Under employment, number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are struck from the agenda, and we'll come back to this at a later date. Number 9, substitute custodians pending completion of, it should say, state custodian testing, background check and state custodian testing. That's what the motion should be. Number 11, substitute bus drivers. We've got 3 new names there. Under new business 1, C, D, E, and F, we have some new names for volunteers and chaperones. And that looks like it. Did I miss anything? I did, please let me know. Oh, I know. Under payment of invoices, it actually, the motion that I will make will be for $165,289.58. And then I will recuse myself, and Mr. will make one for, I think you have that. Okay. Any questions about changes to the agenda? Here none, we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Down the information, A, 2024-2025 strategic plan presentation.
So each year we've got to develop a strategic plan for the county, and Mrs. Brown has been running point on that. She has the highlights from this year's strategic plan. The PowerPoint presentation is in your packet, and she's going to present here to you this evening.
And I have a hard copy if you want something more handy.
Thank you.
I don't know our news guy's not here, is he? So, our strategic plan, we try to, of course, implement it over multiple years, because as we know, you can't make permanent change in just a year. So, we look at our action steps for the most part and adjust those with what we can, but getting started, we've had this mission statement since I've been here, and we tried to make that the forefront of a lot of our meetings, especially with our administration, so it's, upfront and visible that, we want everyone to have that belief, and this is our mission, to be dedicated to the success of every student. Our vision and core beliefs have remained the same as well, and certainly we want community involvement, and that focus being that, it takes the community and everyone's involvement. Our first 2 goals are centered on the math and reading. These are more of our instructional goals. And we gauge this off of monitoring our benchmark assessments. So we want to make sure that we can see growth over the year. And we set that at our 3%, making sure that, some students will go above that, some students will remain the same. We try to make sure nobody is regressing. So we want to at least on average see that growth. So some of the action steps that we implement, and this of course is county-wide, so sometimes they are more general in nature so that we can make sure the schools have addressed their particular needs. So some of these relate, of course, to our assessments, because we want to make sure that the staff understand the assessments and the results that they are getting, and then how that may change over time. Also with our progress monitoring tools, we want to make sure we have that training available, and that they can plan that as needed. When they have meetings, it's very important that they're not just looking at the overall, but they also can look at individual student data. So we want to make sure they're supported in their meetings that they have regarding data analysis. Number 4, the walkthroughs. It's very important that our administration are monitoring the classrooms. At the same time, they're supporting the staff. They can pick up things that, they might be able to make suggestions to them. So this also part of our federal monitoring. There are certain things that we have to ensure with federal funds, specifically Title I, that we are monitoring and making sure things are implemented. Included in this section, not only does this apply to math, of course, but we have to have in our plan about our tools for schools. We get specific allocation to support technology in the schools, and basically, in our county, we want to make sure we're maintaining that one-to-one, that students always have access to the technologies they need. Number 7 is, again, more particular with our federal programs and special ed, in particular with our CSI-ATS school. We want to make sure we're looking at specifically that subgroup data of the students, that those subgroups are growing, and we want them to be able to have the opportunity to achieve like their peers. This being the math goal again, any math training that we have, we've had companies that train on math in general, just the conceptual training, and as well as aligning to our curriculum and make sure that the teachers have the support they need in using the tools that are available to them. And then lastly, in this goal, looking at those STEM opportunities that can enhance the instructional setting and student learning. Goal 2 is, as you see, very similar to goal 1, only it's with our reading. So we want to basically, we're kind of mirroring those same steps for reading as we do with what we saw with goal 1. But in this one, you can see a few of the action steps are a little different and not all repeated. But here we specifically wanted to include the providing of summer school, because we see sometimes that it's very beneficial for students to have that continued support over the summer, so that we're not seeing that summer learning loss. We want to make sure to support the instructional needs of our schools. We know with the science of reading that, we certainly need to make sure that we're supporting what's coming, legislatively with the Third Grade Success Act. There's need for intervention, and a lot of times that means more resources. As I talked to specifically the primary principal today, was making some suggestions about some reading activities that can be purchased with federal funds for parent engagement she was like, I want to buy more books. I said, well, we can do that. So, you know, that, it is important, you know, that we're making sure the students have reading materials at their level, and we can support that with our federal funds as well. Number 7, SOR, I apologize for abbreviating that for the purpose of the slide, but that is the Science of Reading Initiative. So the state has been, we've been a full year into that now. I think Work County was in a very good place with the steps that they had already taken in the curriculum choices and trainings they had for implementing the Science of Reading, but we have had the team, and we'll actually be following up at a state conference next month. And it was not on the action steps for the math because we didn't know about it until recently, but they are also starting a numeracy cohort, so we will be sending a numeracy team for that state rollout the day after the Science of Reading conference. So, but we did receive funds for that, and we continue to support the actions for that support for Science of Reading. And a lot of that is, you know, providing the professional development to the staff to make sure the instructional piece of reading is in place. Goal 3, sometimes I name these by people, and I'm going to call this one Mr. Smith's goal. The goal of Work County Schools is to, at minimum, have 90% of the students enrolling attending 90% of the time. So this is a large order, I will say. And even though our action steps are few in number, the efforts that go into these 3 things are large in nature. So I'm sure that he'll be filling you in the near future about some changes as well in attendance laws and policies. So this, you know, these things are ongoing. These things never stop. This is not, you know, the 2-way communication, 5-day absence, but this is a continual. It's never, we've done it and we're done for the year with it. Student attendance is always the work of just about everybody involved in the school system. We are lucky to be able to have Ty Starkey. We have a memorandum of understanding, or whatever terminology we would say, with the appellate court to be able to support that position, well, provide us the position. So it's, I think, been very invaluable to Mr. Smith's work in the schools. So of course, you know, not that we like to, but having close working relations with the magistrate and circuit clerk's office is very important. Those lines of communication also help. Sometimes it's working to deter before we even get started going down that road. Goal 4, and looking at back to our community involvement and the parent participation in activities, and we always want to work to increase that. I've kind of separated off down at the bottom, but a large part of this goal includes work with our community and schools. So I think you've heard a presentation about that. That's another grant that we received that has been very valuable. Just supporting the students and those in need and being able to connect them with the right community resources. So these action steps are very involved. You know, making sure we are communicating what our activities are, using our Parent Educator Resource Center, and our employee there, Mary Beth, does a great job. Continuing the community and school program at the high school, establishing the systems that we need to make sure we identify homeless so that we can meet those needs individually. Any technology needs of students. The attendance piece to that, you know, making sure that we're doing positive positive things as well. Involving, it's a huge part of parent involvement with attendance. You have to have that parental support when you're trying to work on that. Now, the last slide I've marked off, the remaining action steps in our plan. Project Aware, this is another grant we received, and Ms. Bailey works very diligently to make sure that we are supporting our schools using this program in a variety of ways, but this just outlines three of the big things they have with supporting children's, their mental health, and that they focus on peace with anxiety. The parentguidance.org is also a site that's been pushed out that's free to parents. They can sign up. I don't know, did Ms. Bailey present about this yet?
No.
Okay, so just to touch on it lightly, that parents can sign up and actually get virtual help and assistance with their students. So it's a very, very great resource. Then looking at educating students on the health risks of vaping and tobacco use, there's a program they're going to use called Catch My Breath. And then the last thing there, just, they do a lot with, again, the mental health, the services, trying to make sure that they're educating the students, involving the students, those academic supports being included in that as well.
Any questions?
I've got a few questions. So, start off with the first two goals, I think are great, and then it looks to me like the goal 3 and 4 are designed to support the first two goals. Is that like?
I think every part of what we do tries to support our achievement of our students. So, them being in attendance, of course, is going to impact their achievement. Their mental health and well-being is going to impact.
Okay, so
Yes.
so then those last two goals are meant to help, like higher attendance
Right.
should help with the math achievement. and
Correct.
science achievement.
Absolutely.
Okay, so with goal number 3 of getting a minimum of 90% to attend at least 90% of the time, which is great, I'd love them to be 90% or more. Are we looking at the time that we have the students for teacher contact? Meaning, are we looking at wasted time that we could make sure that they're getting instructional content?
You mean trying to, maximizing the instructional minutes through the day?
Right, because it's not just the students being here on campus. It's
Engaging them while they are.
engagement, teacher contact, lessons going on. Are we looking at time that we have that the students are here under our care but are not being engaged?
Yes, so that is part of what we try to observe and monitor through our walkthroughs. So Mr. McCown had set a goal that, he wants the administration in the classroom, at least every classroom once a week. And so we have a little checkoff list that are look-fors that the principals can monitor, and they can, one of those things is maximizing instructional time. So, if they see, okay, here is some time that is wasted, then they can work on that and set that as a goal for their staff in school.
Because I'm a little concerned that at the beginning and the end of the year, we have time that the students are under our care, but they're not getting quality instruction. And I've heard parents say, particularly close to the end of the semester, oh, they're not doing anything anyway those last couple of days. They're just cleaning up or whatever. And I'd really like it if we not only have them here 90% of the time, but 100% of the time that they're here, it's volume added for their.
Absolutely.
And then the other thing I'm looking at is when we go back to some of the core beliefs. So the first core belief we have is we believe every student can learn and deserves an equitable, quality education. Can you define equitable?
So equitable, I believe, I mean, I wasn't part of the team that made these because these have been in place for a while, but from my work in education, we want to make sure that, you know, when we're serving all subgroups of students, it might not be the same, but you have the same opportunities to learn. We might need to modify for you or your peers, you know, it could be different. The way you learn might look different, but we're going to make sure we put the supports in place for you to be successful.
So does that imply that some students receive more than others?
I think it's all based on the student's need. So we have to look at students' individual needs and see, based on their needs, what it is. We want to make sure that those that are achieving higher are enriched, and we want to make sure those that are struggling have supports in place and intervention in place to make sure they're keeping up.
Okay, so then, why isn't the core belief we believe every student can learn and deserves a quality education? I'm not sure what equitable, how that changes. Like, why don't we just say every student can learn and deserves a quality education? What does, if we can't define equitable, why is it in our core belief?
Well, I don't know that we can't define it. I just think equitable means something different for each student. So when we talk about, when you ask me a question about does everybody get the same, I can't answer that as yes, because it's not the same. But our goal, or my belief is that we make it equitable by making sure we are looking at every student's specific needs.
Okay, so that's how we make it equitable?
Yes.
Then what is equitable?
Well, I think she answered that.
I think,
Well, then, maybe.
It might not be the answer you want, but I think she answered it.
I mean, what's the difference between an equitable quality education and a quality education?
An equitable quality education, just as as Carla said, is that no matter where you are in the spectrum, okay, no matter where you are as far as your learning needs, that you get the same equitable treatment as anybody else. That your needs might be greater. We might spend $50,000 on you, okay, whereas a student that's in the classroom that is, you know, doesn't have those needs might get $20,000, and I'm equating it back to money. Could be time also. Okay, that's equitable. Quality means that everything we do, okay, provides a good education. Everything we do. But we can do a quality education and it not be equitable to different groups of students.
so
Yeah,
I think
it's as simple as
this,
saying meet the students where they are.
that's exactly what I was getting ready to say.
I mean, right, and
Yeah.
meet them where they are, and we give them what they need so that they can all be successful and all receive a quality education. Whereas if we just threw out a quality education, you know, we've got the best teachers in the world, and they're throwing out this great education. If we're not meeting kids where they are, they're not all receiving the same thing.
So then those students would be in quality education? I'm
Exactly.
saying, what then,
They're still receiving it, but it's not doing them any good.
So what's the
equitable makes sure that they get from it what somebody who doesn't need those extra supports are also getting from it.
okay.
I may answer, it's more so like groups, subgroups and all. It has nothing to do with, I won't say the color of your skin. It has, or your sex. It has to do with where you are in education. I give you an example. You know, I know kids that cannot read very well. So, I don't know if here they do it, but in a different school, they have teachers that read the questions to them. They can answer that way, but they have to read it. So that's equitable, as meaning whether they are able to read or not able to read, they get the same education. And that's why, you know, you're looking at,
Yeah, well,
the groups and the subgroups.
Right, so I'm looking at it and it seems like there's several different definitions that we mean by equitable. So if we don't have a common definition for what we're saying, I'm wondering, why is it in our core beliefs? And I think if we just say we're gonna provide every student with quality education, we all know every student, we all know what quality means,
But do we know what quality means? I mean, I can throw it back to you. What's quality? What you think is quality might be different from what I think is quality.
Well, I would, so we would define quality as on grade level.
No.
Striving to be on grade level.
No, not necessarily.
So you would.
I think that's a simplistic definition of quality.
And we have the standards that we're trying to get into for grade level. That's what all of our,
So the long and the short of it is, kids come to us at different levels with different needs. Okay, we want to be dedicated to the success of every student, and that's going to mean something different for every kid. Okay, that's what I think equity means.
can you say that one more time? So I know we're all looking at the same, the same definitions.
Students come to us with at different levels and with different needs. Okay, being dedicated to the success of every student, okay, means we're going to meet that student where they are and provide them what they need to be successful.
How is that different than if we say we're providing every student with quality education?
I think that doesn't differentiate that different kids are doing different things. To me. Hey, it's not like an assembly line where I'm making blueberry muffins, and if I get a bad batch of blueberries, I can send them back and not accept them. Okay, so, I mean, we've got to meet the kids where they are and strive to get them where they need to be.
Any other questions? Carla, under going forward, the community schools, which I think has been an excellent program for us, do you hear any noise or anything about that moving also to the middle school or even to the primary schools?
I would have to defer to Mr.
Okay.
Smith on that. He's-
So, I was hesitant, we could have expanded that, but this was Governor Justice's program. And I was hesitant to add another person, one, until I see if funding for that's going to continue. If it looks like funding is going to be around for that for a while and it's not going anywhere, I'm not opposed to trying to add another position of that for the primary middle school.
But primary and middle school said parents can still come, high school, they can go into
The
resources in the, like the food and clothing and stuff like that.
I think the clothing is mostly tailored to high school size kids, but if it's a food issue, yeah, there would be no problem with that.
We also have other homeless monies available through Title I, so, and we can even tow some of those.
Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Brown. I was struggling to get your last name there a second. I'm gonna call you by your name, you know. I do that all the time. Okay, now we're down to 24-25 enrollment data. Mr. McCown?
So I asked Mr. Smith to come this evening. We don't have much attendance data yet since school just got started, but I thought the board might like to know where our enrollment numbers stand right now.
Thank you, Mr. McCown, thank you, Mr. Metz. As of, and it's in your packet right here, as of today, we have 865 total students enrolled. At the primary center, we have 324. At the middle school, we have 263. And at the high school, we have 278. By grade, at the 324 at the primary center, pre-K has 61, kindergarten 42, first grade 55, second grade 49, third grade 55, fourth grade 62. In regards to the middle school, the fifth grade is at 59, sixth grade is at 58, seventh grade is at 69, eighth grade is at 77. And lastly, at the high school, there is 66 in ninth grade, 65 in 10th grade, 76 in 11th grade, and 71 in 12th grade. In addition, I thought you might be interested, what I did, this isn't in your packet, but I thought I might have questions related to the comparison to last year. As close as I could come when I presented to you all on September 21st of last year, we had a total of 900 students, 351 at the primary center, middle school was at 263, and 286 at the high school, for a total enrollment of 900 at September 21st of last year. In comparison, that's a decrease of 35 total students, 27 less at the primary center. The middle school stayed the same at that time compared to today's date, and there was 8 less at the high school at approximately the same time last year. And it's about a month difference, the last report I gave, like in September. So it just gives you an idea, 35 less kids at this time in comparison to roughly the same time last year, about a month difference.
What did we end at last year, Mr. Smith?
I'm sorry, Mr. Metz, I don't have that right in front of me, but I can get that the next meeting, Mr. Metz. I didn't have that handy in front of me, but I can get that.
Does the pre-K number, is it just the 4-year-old pre-K, or does that include some of the like 3-year-olds?
Well, what we get into there is the part-time
Okay.
FT, yeah, that's it,
Okay.
yeah. So, yeah, that, to answer your question, that's the full-time kids, right? Anyone have any other questions?
Just out of curiosity, is pre-K mandatory or is this voluntary?
For attendance or in regards to that, it's not mandatory, as you said, Brent, but we do, I don't want to say it's not mandatory, but in regards to like attendance, we still do letters and we still do that process. But, you know, pre-K is not mandatory for any kids. They can choose, you know, not to have their kids enrolled there as far as that goes, and attendance isn't, you know, pursued.
But once they start, then they kind of go to
Right.
the rest.
Yes. Mhm. That's a good question. And Mrs. Brown mentioned this earlier. Real quickly, in September, I'll come back. The new policy 4110, the attendance state policy, has had some changes in regards to how we're going to have to do business starting this year. So I'll bring back the policy we're going to have to change once it's approved, and how that'll affect how we're doing business on a daily basis in the schools. A lot of those things that were affected, Mrs. Brown mentioned earlier, was like how we communicate with parents at the 3-day. Now they broke it down to quarter, half days, 3/4 days, and then also the time elapsed when a parent doesn't turn in a note becomes an unexcused absence. That's kind of the Reader's Digest version, but that's a lot of the main effects there. I mean, it's a 61-page document, the changes. I sent through a presentation, so I just thought I'd hit some of the key parts so you know what was coming the next time. So, you want to have any other questions? Yes, go ahead.
For the loss of the students from last year, do we know where those students went? Like, if they moved to what, like, well, I know some of high school that graduated, but, do we know if they moved away, if they went to
Well,
alternate school, homeschool?
I would say, and looking at that, I was looking at that this morning, I would say 90%, now there may be some exceptions, we're going to alternative school, whether it was homeschool, Christian school, there's 3 or 4 options, but alternative schools, yes, that's primarily where most of them are going,
You
yes.
said about 90%?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, currently, just to give you an idea, we roughly have 140 kids that are what I put on the homeschool app, but that's a generic label. That could be Hope Scholarship, that could be, you know, Christian school, homeschool, alternate, you know, whether it's an online program, but that's all lumped under that same category. About 140 kids roughly are underneath that right now.
So most of the change is students and parents choosing another form and not a
Right.
smaller population.
Correct. That's the biggest impact that I'm seeing, just looking at the numbers, correct. Now, of course, it's a fluid situation, you'll have a percentage, I said roughly 9%. You'll have a percentage that move in and out of the county, or I may come back with you later and there may be some of these kids halfway into the year decide homeschooling's not for them, and they may come back in, so it's kind of a fluid situation partially, so.
Do you, if kids transfer to another school, are we notified when that happens?
Oh yeah, not to get into too many details, but like, let's say a kid, transfers, just say hypothetically, to
Beginning
Wood
of the year.
County, okay? At any point during the year, if they transfer to another location, if it's another public school system, for example, you get a request for records, that tells you they've enrolled somewhere else, and they reach out to our guidance counselor at the school, and they transfer the records, and they drop us from our records to the other school. And it's a similar process if they go to, I just use that as an example, homeschool, Christian school, or the whole list. Same thing, they ask for requests for records traditionally is what they do, and there's forms they fill out for that. And Mr. McCown has to sign off.
Yeah, I know we see when they come in, but we never hear.
Right, I got you, yeah. And we just drop them on Weavis, and they pick them up at the other school, correct? Good question, Brett. Any other questions?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Snow.
Thank you.
Okay, we're down to the agenda. I have a motion to approve the minutes of the August 6th, 2024 regular meeting.
So moved.
Any corrections, questions, concerns, comments? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the minutes of the August 6th, 2024 regular meeting minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Now, finance. Need a motion to approve invoices in the amount of $165,289.58.
So moved.
Mr. McKinley?
Okay, for your consideration and approval this evening, we have 4 runs of invoices. The first on 8/6/2024, totaling $12,078.50. Noteworthy in this, we have HealthSmart dental insurance and PEIA health insurance billings. The next run, also on 8/6/2024, totals $8,242.03. Noteworthy in this, we have some professional or FBLA lodging. We have computer tables for the middle school. The next run on 8/13/2024 totals $17,770.43. We had food service co-op fees, McGraw-Hill Alex license as a math program for the high school. The final run on 8/14/2024 totals $127,374.16. Noteworthy in this is instructional supplies with Amazon. We have our reading CKLA professional development. We have math curriculum for the middle school and the faculty senate distribution to schools. These total $165,289.58, and then we will have a separate motion for board member travel in the amount of $175,054 in a second motion here in a minute, and those two total what's on the board agenda, $165,465.12. It's a mouthful.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve payment of invoice in the amount of $165,289.58. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, and there is going to be a motion for travel, and I need to recuse myself because it's my travel. I'm slow.
Motion to approve Mr. Ness's travel, $175.54.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed.
see.
Okay, need a motion to approve the budget transfers in the amount of $141,518.62.
So moved.
Wait a minute. Is that correct? We gotta do the total on
Now, both of them.
Both of those total the
Yeah.
amount that's on the agenda.
Two separate.
But we had to do it in two separate motions, so
Okay.
yeah, it is correct.
Okay.
As stated.
so Brent, got your motion on?
Okay. Mr. Stewart had a motion on number 2. Okay, Mr. McCown.
Okay, budget transfers, there are two. The first in the amount of $109,718.62. This is a transfer for special ed previously ESSER funded, the LPN position and color card supplies that the board approved. The second in the amount of $31,800. This is the aforementioned transfer of funds to school faculty senate funds. Those two total $141,518.62.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve budget transfers in the amount of $141,518.62. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. And the budget supplements, need a motion to approve budget supplements in the amount of $68,611.08.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So we have three supplements coming to you this evening. The first, the amount of $9,900 is an IDEA grant for speech support. The second, in the amount of $18,700, this is a fresh fruit and vegetable grant. And finally, in the amount of $40,011.08, this is projected Head Start funding for the ECAT aid position.
Question? I'm sorry.
These total $68,611.08.
Any questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the budget supplements in the amount of $68,611.08. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. I need a motion to approve the Head Start contract and budget.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So each year in pre-K, we work with the state Head Start agency and collaborate with them, and they are funding the ECAT position that the board just authorized in part, and we have a memorandum of understanding with them, or contract with them, and then the budget of those funds are in there as well. This is something that we do yearly with the collaboration with pre-K with them.
Questions? So they're gonna fund a portion of that, but we're gonna post it, bid it, and employ it, right?
Yes, that's
So
the
they will be our employee.
that one, the ECAT position, yes.
That's good. That's, I think, a step in the right direction.
Well, it's been difficult because sometimes they filled it and sometimes they didn't have it filled and a substitute would be in and out and this lends some stability to that classroom.
Does anybody know what either their portion or our portion, what figures on that would be?
Up above your supplement that we just, put into the budget, that's what we expect that we'll receive from the Head Start for that position right now.
Okay, what was that again, Karen? I'm sorry.
40,000 something.
Okay.
Think of the.
$40,011 makes sense.
That's what we're thinking, but you know, we have some sums we'll charge that over to them as well, because that would be involved in the position, as well as any overtime that might be associated with that position. To them as well. But I think their max on their budget, I believe, is low 40s, somewhere through there, maybe 42, 43,000 is max.
Still good way to do it.
It lends stability, it
Yes.
really does.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the Head Start contract and budget. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, down to personnel matters, resignations and leave of absences. Need a motion to approve the resignation as extracurricular interventionist effective immediately for Rebecca Smith.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So she was gracious enough to help us out last year, but she, has other commitments. Her letter is in your packet. Appreciate the work she did for us.
Any questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to accept the resignation of Rebecca Smith as extracurricular interventionist effective immediately. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, need a motion to approve the resignation of Phil Nemeth as cook/custodian, Ward County High School, effective immediately.
So moved.
Any questions, comments? Mr. McCown.
So his letter was in your packet. He has expressed interest in coming back and subbing in maintenance or custodian. And, he will have to wait until a post, we don't currently have a posting open for that. So he will, when we get that posted, he will need to apply, but, he did request that in his letter.
Any other questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the resignation of Phil Nemeth, cook/custodian, Ward County High School, effective immediately. All in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, need a motion to accept the resignation of Shawnee Hill as head softball coach for Ward County Middle School. Mr. McCown.
Yeah, her letter was in your packet.
Any questions?
Does the middle schools still having problems where to practice, where to play their games? I can see where, a coach or it would be hard to go that way.
So I think that they have utilized, Mr. Smith, you've got additional, they've utilized the fields down at the ball fields. And they're not ideal compared to what some places have, but, I don't know that was a factor in her tendering her.
Well, I was saying that, I'm just saying that I can see where the school coaches has a problem. I know they said sometimes that they couldn't have hardly very many home games because of the fields.
Okay.
Yeah, what happened with that, Brent, a lot of times that occurred, especially if there's rainouts or there was a change in the schedule. I just happened to know that occurred sometimes, but yeah, that did occur sometimes, but I don't know if I really have an answer for that.
Right, well, right.
Yeah,
If
just
they had a
limited
particular field that they would.
Right, just limited facilities, you know,
Okay, we have a motion to approve the resignation of Shawnee Hill as head softball coach, Ward County Middle School. In favor say aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, we need a motion to approve the FMLA request for Connie's Voice. And as part of the motion, I'm going to ask that we review that FMLA in 6 months. So that, I'll make that motion. Do you have that, Mrs. Matheny, that I made that motion? Okay. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the FMLA request for Connie Voice with a review of that request in 6 months. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, I'll also make this motion. Need a motion, or I will make a motion to approve the request for FMLA for Mary Amos with a review in 6 months. Any questions? Hear none. We have a motion to approve FMLA request from Mary Amos with a review in 6 months. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. We're down to employment. Need a motion to approve bus operator countywide, Catherine Davis. I'm sorry, Dennis. Catherine Dennis. I don't know where I got Davis from. Mr. McCown?
So we are looking into a fully certified bus driver that just completed their training in Jackson County. They happen to live right down the road from me. So she just completed everything and has submitted her paperwork, but is fully certified. And let's see, we need to make this effective for the 26th. She has had to give her current employer some time, so she asked that we make that effective the 26th of this month.
I'm sorry, who made that motion?
I did.
Mr. Lowe, are you okay with adding that to the motion?
Yes.
Do you have that, Mrs. Matheny? Any other questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve bus operator countywide Catherine Dennis with the effective date of August 26th. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, we're down to substitute custodians. And with the pleasure of the board, we'll take A through K as one motion unless there's anybody that you would, or numerous people or one person that you would like to pull out and be separate. I'll give you a second on that. Okay, need a motion to approve substitute custodians pending completion of their background check and state custodial testing. Names are Misty McCalty, Keisha Wilson, Roseanne Pindock, Douglas Pindock, Amanda Snyder, Eric E., Chloe Jones, Laura Watson, Matthew Lynch, Ryan Campbell, and Walker Butcher.
So moved.
Any questions, comments? Anything you want to add, Mr. McCollum?
I don't know why we got a lot of them all in one fell swoop, but we surely did. So happy to add some to our substitute rosters.
I know some of these names, they're already our employees, so I'm assuming they're gonna do the new law that
Correct.
allows them to take double shifts and do that type of
Yeah,
thing.
correct.
Okay, we have a motion to approve substitute custodians pending completion of the background check and state custodial testing. That's Missy McCalty, Keisha Wilson, Roseanne Pindock, Douglas Pindock, Amanda Snyder, Eric E., Chloe Jones, Laura Watson, Matthew Lynch, Ryan Kennedy, and Walker Butcher. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, need, same thing with number 10, if it suits the board, we have 3 names. We'll take it as one motion, that's, if there's anybody you'd like to pull out.
So moved. But now I have a question here because we have pending completion.
Let me get in the motion, and then we'll ask the question.
Okay, I thought I did.
I haven't read the motion yet.
Oh, okay. Do it.
I'm sorry, Mark. Okay, need a motion to approve substitute maintenance pending completion of the general maintenance test and physical performance test.
So moved. I apologize.
Now, no, you're fine.
Okay. Well, I don't know why does it not say pending completion of background check on 10? It does on 9 and 11, but shouldn't say it on 10 too?
It should. Yeah, it probably should. We can add that line amending that motion. All of these before they get a contract, they all get a background check.
Okay, so you made that motion, Mark, so
Yeah.
we're gonna redo that motion to
Pending the background, okay.
Any other questions? Good catch. We have a motion for substitute maintenance pending completion of background check and completion of general maintenance test and physical performance test. All in favor? Those names are Douglas Pintock, Matthew Lynch, and Cody White. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those say nay. Ayes have it. I see what you're trying to get me before we get a motion. Number 11. Need a motion to approve substitute bus operators pending background check and certifications. votes are Matthew Lynch, Hunter Nemeth, and Jeffrey Burns. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. McCown?
So their applications are in your packet. Of course, the certification for the bus driver operator is a little bit more in-depth than the others, and also a little bit more of a time wait. It takes a long time, but if we can get some more folks to successfully complete all of that, we can get some more bus driver service.
Any questions?
I've got a question about hiring substitute bus operators in general. All of these three included. If we had a candidate for a substitute position, if we had a candidate for a full-time bus position, that we decided we should not hire for a full-time position, would that imply then that we would not pull them from a substitute list also?
So if for some reason we wouldn't hire them for a full-time position, we wouldn't employ them as a substitute hire.
That's correct?
Yes.
Okay. That's, want to make sure that we wouldn't have someone on the sub list that we felt would qualify for being one of the Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion to approve substitute bus operators pending completion of background check and state certification as Matthew Lynch, Hunter Nemeth, and Jeffrey Burns. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, need a motion to approve mentor for beginning secretary at Work County Primary Center, Devonna Coughlin.
So moved.
Mr. McCown?
So as you recall, we just authorized that. We've got a brand new secretary at the primary center, and authorized the mentor position for that last time. I'm happy to say that Devon at the board office is the successful bidder on that position.
We do a great job. Any questions? Here none. We have a motion. To vote on mentor for beginning secretary at Work County Primary Center, Devon Coughlin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, need a motion to approve pre-K A ECAP at Work County Primary Center, and the name there is Paula Burton.
So moved.
Mr. McCown?
She is ECAT certified and was the successful bidder on that position. Her application is in your packet.
Any questions? Here none. We have a motion to approve pre-K A/ECAP, Work County Primary Center, Paula Burton. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, need a motion to approve student council sponsor at Work County High School, and that's Matthew Hayes.
So moved.
Mr. McCown?
His application is in your packet.
Any questions? Here none. We have a motion to approve student council sponsor at Work County High School, Matthew Hayes. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it.
Passing football.
Gotta wait for something. Okay, we're down to number 15. Need a motion to approve assistant football coach at Work County High School, Trenton Hardbarger.
So moved.
Any questions? Mr. McKellar?
His application was in your packet. I have no doubt that he will do an excellent job.
Okay, we have a motion to approve assistant football coach at Work County High School, Trenton Hardbarger. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, we're down to volunteers and chaperones for 24-25 school year. The students to board will take A through F under one motion, unless there's anybody that you would like to remove and vote on separately. Okay, we need a motion to approve volunteer chaperones for 24-25 school year, and that is Jackie Johnson for Primary Center Middle School High School, Luke Smith for Middle School High School, Kristen Watkins, Primary Center, Matt Sellers Primary Center, Aaron Sellers Primary Center, and White Gulf Middle School High School.
So moved.
Mr. McCown, anything we need
Nothing
to
to
know?
add.
Okay, I'm going to ask Mr. Stewart's question. Okay, we do have several people here that are wanting to help with sports programs or coach. They have done that, letter from the coach to the principal.
Yes.
Do you have any mind?
So before the principal.
I stole your thunder.
Before the principal signed it, they are to ask the coach for that.
Very good. Any other que-
I've got another question. Should they, what was going through my mind when we were reading this was chaperone. There's nothing specifically saying what they were chaperoning. Did we ever do anything like that? Or?
So typically, it's their own kids' field trips.
Right.
Or those things in nature.
Well, in this case, some of them was probably intended for maybe chaperone be with the school, but with the sports. Is that what you were saying?
So per the policy change that we amended that policy, if they are saying that they are helping with some sort of secondary sport, the coach is to have approved it before the principal signs off.
Right, that, but would they also be separate, other than just chaperone? Or would they just stay as chaperone? That's why I'm asking, maybe you don't understand what I'm saying, to be specifically, we want to be a volunteer for coaching. And what-
So, do you think we need to add another?
Well, it's just, you know, maybe it would be nice to know.
Yeah, it's our form, we can add whatever we want to it. Where it asks volunteer, I think, or chaperone, can we put, something, I don't know how many, that form, they're running that form off of the internet, aren't they? We're not running.
No, we're getting paper forms.
Maybe if they're gonna be a coach until we run out of paper forms, that they put a little tag on there, say coaching.
Okay.
Can we do that, Mr. McKenna? That's what you're asking.
Right, yeah.
I don't want to throw away a bunch of paper, but. Any other questions?
It is renewable.
I know, it's such a waste. Okay, we have a motion to approve volunteers and chaperones for the 24-25 school year. Jacqueline and Jackie Johnson, Primary Center, Middle School, High School, Luke Smith, Middle School, High School, Kristen Watkins, Primary Center, Matt Sellers, Primary Center, Aaron Sellers, Primary Center, and Dwight Goff, Middle School, High School. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. I need a motion to abolish the position of cook custodian at Ward County High School.
So moved.
Mr. McCallum.
So we just acted a minute ago on Phil Nemeth's resignation. That was a dual class position, cook/custodian at the high school. And we still have a cook that is on the RIF list. So I asked Malonis here if he had any specific questions. He sees the need to abolish the cook/custodian, just bring that back as a regular cook 3. Which is further down the agenda, and then I think that's going to better suit the needs of the high school and return a RIF cook to full-time employment potentially.
Any questions? Here none, we have a motion to approve the abolishment of position of cook/custodian at Ward County High School. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, we're down to authorizing positions for the 24-25 school year. First one is, yeah, let's take them separately because they're different. Okay, need a motion to approve, the position for supper and a sack cook. That's 2 positions at the primary center and middle school.
So moved.
Mr. McKillop?
So this is the same as we've done in years past. In order for the cooks to be able to fill up the supper sacks, they've got to work a little bit past what their contractual day is. So this is to help meet that need.
Any questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve supper and a sack cook, 2 positions for Ward County Primary Center, Ward County Middle School. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, need a motion to approve supper to Sack Cook for Ward County High School.
So moved.
Same deal, Mr.
Same deal.
Okay. Any questions? Here none, we have a motion to approve supper to Sack Cook at Ward County High School. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, need a motion to approve beginning teacher mentor for middle school special education.
So moved.
Commissioner McKenna?
So we've got some new teachers, and this is authorizing the mentor positions for all of the new folks that we mentor.
Any questions? I have about three coming up there. Here none, we have a motion to approve beginning teacher mentor for middle school special education. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Need a motion to approve beginning teacher mentor for fourth grade, 2 positions, Ward County Primary Center.
So moved.
Anything different, Mr. McKenna?
We just happen to have 2 brand new teachers.
Any questions? Here none, we have a motion to approve beginning teacher mentors for fourth grade, 2 positions, Ward County Primary Center. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, need a motion to approve beginning mentor, teacher mentor for first grade, Ward County Primary Center.
So moved.
Nothing different.
Nothing different.
Any questions? Here none, we have a motion to approve beginning teacher mentor for first grade Ward County Primary Center. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, need a motion to approve Cook 3, Ward County High School.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So you just abolished the cook/custodian. I'm asking you to bring back just a regular cook position that we were posting.
Anything you feel you need to add to that, Mr. Morris?
Was there,
We don't see you that very often, so I gotta get you to say something.
that's anything?
There you go. Any questions for Mr. Morris? Here none, we have a motion to approve Cook 3, Ward County High School. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Number G, need a motion to approve bus aides, 2 positions.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So each year, Mr. Smith, as transportation director, has got to evaluate what we need, and so we've got some 2 bus aides, we've got a special education bus aide, and that is currently the need that we have. Anything to elaborate on that, Mr. Smith?
Any questions?
Does that bus aid, ride to the school and then do they stay with the student or how they get back or?
Sure.
Yeah, like, with the bus age, yeah, they ride the bus in the morning, and then they ride the bus in the evening, at both is what they do, Brad.
Okay, so.
But they don't necessarily stay with that student all day.
Correct. I'm talking about the special ed. Yeah.
Correct, yes. Now,
So they would have to have a vehicle here to be able to go home?
yeah, that's what they do, yes, they park it. Usually what happens is the driver goes over, picks them up in the morning at the primary center, and then just drops them off in the evening. Same thing, picks them up on the evening around, that's the same thing.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Here none, we have a motion to approve bus aides for the primary center, 2 positions. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, H, need a motion to approve special education bus aid.
So moved.
Anything different with this one?
This one works specifically with special education.
Answer your other question.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
yeah, we've got to find both in one place.
Okay, we have a motion to approve special education bus aid. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, need a motion to approve safe school bus transportation communication monitor.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So this is an extracurricular that we've had in place before. It allows somebody to stay at the primary center and monitor the bus radio while buses are on the road. Sometimes there's an issue, a student gets on the wrong bus, or there's nobody at probably more often, there's nobody at the stop to get the kid off of the bus, and the bus driver sometimes has to bring the kid back into school. And, this is an extracurricular outside of the regular day to help with that.
Is there an age limit? I mean, a grade limit, I'll put it that way, for somebody to be there when they drop them off.
Mr. Smith, do you want to elaborate on that?
Third grade goes to third, and then after that, it's only me.
So if they're a fourth grader, fifth, sixth, seventh, and they have to bring them back, this person
No,
can
they-
still,
They can get this, well.
I get that you can't leave the third grade. I get that, but
But
there's
sometimes-
other times where kids are brought back.
Yes, exactly. Sometimes the bus driver, in particular instance, doesn't feel comfortable dropping them off without a parent or responsible party there, Brent. Like, maybe the bus stops away from where the kid gets on. There could be various things that occur like that, yes.
So it doesn't matter what grade they're in. The bus driver can bring back anybody. they
Yeah,
need
at
to
their
bring back.
discretion, if they don't feel like they're comfortable dropping them off. I hope that answers your
Yeah.
question.
Any other questions? Here none. We have a motion to approve the safe school bus transportation communication monitor. And, all in favor say aye. Aye. Those say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, need a motion to approve alternative education teacher up to 4 teaching positions as needed.
So moved.
Commissioner McKenna.
Okay, hopefully we don't need very many alternative ed teachers with folks placed in an alternative placement, but we have to do this in preparation for the school year. Not only with the alternative ed teacher, but also, as you'll see to follow, the homebound instruction, and then a special ed teacher for homebound. We currently don't have any students on, we do have 1 student on homebound, but if we were to get more students on homebound or more students placed in alternative ed, this allows us to have already posted these positions and have people in place.
Questions? Here none. We have a motion to approve alternative education teacher up to 4 teaching positions as needed. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. We need a motion for alternative special education teacher up to 4 teaching positions as needed.
So moved.
So likewise, if we had a special education student placed in alternative ed, we'd still need to service those minutes and give them special ed services, so we'll have special ed teachers in place.
Is that in home? Do they go like?
Alternative ed, most of the time has been in the back of the library, from 3:30 to 5:30, Monday through Thursdays.
Any other questions? Here none. We have a motion to approve alternative ed special education teacher up to 4 teaching positions as needed. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, we're down to need a motion for teachers for home/hospital instruction, homebound, up to 4 teaching positions as needed.
So moved.
So as I mentioned, we have 1 student on homebound right now. If they were to have another student, something medically wrong with them, where they're incapable of attending school physically, that's when homebound comes into place. This will allow us to fill those things and have teachers on deck.
Okay, we have a motion to approve teachers for homebound hospital instruction, homebound, up to 4 teaching positions as needed. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, we're down to N. Need a motion for a high school special education teacher. Did I miss one?
I think N is special education teacher for
Okay,
homebound.
put check mark by it.
Yeah.
Before I did it.
No problem.
Okay, need a motion to approve special education teacher for home hospital instruction, homebound, up to 4 teaching positions as needed.
So moved.
Same deal.
Same here.
Questions? Here none. We have a motion to approve special education teacher for home/hospital instruction, homebound, up to 4 teaching positions as needed. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, down to the end, need a motion to approve high school special education teacher.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So this is a new position, it's not been in existence before, but each year we've got to review the percentage of special ed students in classrooms, the percentage of special education students in a regular ed classroom is above 30%. It requires that a special ed teacher have to go in and co-teach some with that class. And looking at the high school schedule, there's a multitude of classes that are over that threshold that we don't have enough staff to fill. So we are asking that the board authorize this new position to meet that requirement.
Questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve a high school special education teacher. All in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. I need a motion to approve part-time Warren County Primary Center Kenny Vento Service Coordinator tutor through September 30th, 2024.
So moved.
Is that date correct?
That date is correct, because this is a grant that we've got that doesn't expire until September 30th. So we ripped these positions, but we've got a little bit of money left over that we could potentially spend. But we're asking that you authorize this, and again, these are going to expire at the end of the grant, expiring in that date.
Very good.
And so if we got a new grant, we would then come back.
Yes.
Is there a chance that, is that a grant that's still out there, or is that something that you?
Well, we didn't receive the grant, Mr. Matz, but they're gonna offer other opportunities that perhaps it could be agreed to stay there. Like not as much money, but smaller amounts, if that makes sense.
Any other questions? Hear none. We have a motion to approve part-time Warren County Primary Center McKinney Vento Service Coordinator tutor through September 30th, 2024. All in favor say aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. When I saw 2024, I bet that's supposed to be 25, but that makes sense. Okay, need a motion to approve part-time Warren County Middle School McKinney Vento Service Coordinator tutor through September 30th, 2024.
So moved.
Did I say middle school?
Yes.
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
Okay, same deal.
Thank you.
Any questions? Here none, we have a motion to approve part-time Warren County Middle School McKinney Vento Service Coordinator tutor through September 30th, 2024. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. And we're down to Q. Need a motion to approve part-time Warren County High School McKinney Vento Service Coordinator / tutor through September 30th, 2024. All in favor say, I'm sorry, need a motion.
So moved.
Moving too fast. Any questions? Same deal. Hear none. We have a motion now to approve part-time Warren County High School McKinney Vento Service Coordinator tutor through September 30th, 2024. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, do we need to go into executive session to do this?
I don't mind to do it in an open session. I have no problem with that. But if it's the will of the board, we go to executive
I
session.
have no problem standing.
We did it publicly last year, but I.
Yeah, I know the evaluation, when we evaluate, we have to. There's no choice. Okay, Mr. McKelvey, it's your show.
We need to make a motion to.
Yeah, we do. Okay, need a motion to approve the superintendent's 24-25 goals.
So moved.
Now we're in sign motion.
Okay, Mrs. Brown talked about the county strategic plan. Since I've been here as superintendent, I've always tried to align my goals to the county strategic plan, and it is no different this year. This strategic plan had, 4 goals: a math goal, a reading goal, an attendance goal, and a community engagement goal, and those, of what I have crafted my goals around.
We'll go through each one and then this one comes.
Okay, so goal 1, increase student
If
achievement.
that suits for us.
Yeah, is that, okay? So goal 1, increase student achievement in mathematics at all programmatic levels by setting high academic expectations and a clear focus on academic standards countywide. Goal 2, to increase student achievement in English language arts at all programmatic levels by setting high academic expectations and a clear focus on academic standards. Goal 3, to increase family and community engagement in Ward County schools by enhancing parent and community relations and cultivating a positive and unified atmosphere. And then finally, to increase attendance at Ward County schools.
Open for discussion.
On for goal 1 and goal 2. When you say all programmatic levels, is programmatic levels the schools or is that the grade levels?
So it would be both. It would be,
So we're looking at the goals to increase in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, is how we're looking at it, right? Yeah, I think these, I like these goals.
Do you want to put in there to, I mean, what you're saying about all programmatic levels K through 12? You want to add that to it, or is that redundant?
As long as it's understood what that means, as opposed to programmatic meaning high school, middle school, primary.
Understand what you're saying. Any other questions? Okay, we have a motion to approve the superintendent's goals for 2024, 2025. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, so we're down to board concerns. We'll start with Mr. Stewart.
What is us as a school, and maybe also as a state, the regulations for a substitute teacher requirement?
so the state put a provision in where somebody with an associate's degree can substitute teach if the county fills out a waiver to do that. And sometime back, we did do that waiver, but it was to accept a substitute nurse at the time, and we have not utilized that for substitute teachers. I'm cautious with that because if you've got a bachelor's degree, you can, in whatever field, you can go through a training course with WVDE and be issued a short-term substitute permit. And I question whether or not to put folks that have an associate degree in the classroom as a substitute teacher. I know there are many counties there are more counties not doing that than there are counties doing that. But that is the long and the short of it. We potentially could, but up to this point, we have not.
Saying that the could means that if we was not being able to fill classes, then we would go ahead and do that.
I think if we want to pursue that as a board, we should draft a policy that states the only time that we would be utilizing those folks is if we were in a position that we couldn't otherwise fill a vacant position where a sub was needed.
That answers your question, Mr. Mr. Lowe?
Anything good?
Yep, before I state my concern, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive personnel matters before I say.
Okay, is the personnel matter on the agenda?
Yes.
We have a motion to enter into executive session to discuss personnel matter. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those say nay. Ayes have it.